GovFresh, started a year ago, and it basically, as I saw all of the federal government and even local governments using social media like Flickr and YouTube and RSS and Twitter, really it was interesting to me, and what I started to do was aggregate these social media accounts. So, for example, for the White House, aggregating it into one live stream and really kind of getting a live update of what was going on at the White House or the State Department or some of the other federal agencies that were using social media. And then one thing led to another. I started blogging about how the government was using social media, how the government was using new technologies, and it's just evolved over time. Well, part of it is a labor of love. I mean, it's, anytime you're doing something that you have passion for, you find time, and it doesn't appear or doesn't feel like work. You're just doing it because you wake up in the morning and you're thinking about an idea or a story or an interesting angle, and you just, it's like anything. When you're passionate about something, it's not a challenge to keep doing, and that's kind of what GovFresh is for me. It's really, sharing ideas and kind of helping government become more efficient and more collaborative using technology, because it's an opportunity for government to really take this technology and leverage it. It's low cost, it's easy to implement, and now that things like social media and open source have matured, you can really use them and execute them reliably. And, that's kind of what motivates me around GovFresh. Obviously it is a labor of love, but, like I said, when you're passionate, you find time to keep it going. If you asked me when I first launched GovFresh if it would be what it is now and be doing the things that it's doing today, I would have been completely wrong. And I've always been, GovFresh is partly an experiment for me, where I sort of experiment and iterate on, development or design or social media or just content, kind of experimenting with, content types. So it's, part of it is I really believe that GovFresh is sort of an iterative, organic website, and really getting a feel for kind of what the open government community is looking for, and really talking to people, meeting people, and taking ideas that people have and transitioning them to GovFresh. I'll be rolling out some content features and some new designs in the next couple of weeks, and some new announcements about changes that I'm making. But really, it's an iterative process. I mean, I would love to be doing more around videos and TV and interviewing people more. What I really need to focus on outside of kind of executing content and engagement with people is really figuring out how to make it more sustainable, as I've talked with many people about and been a little bit more open about, but really making it much more financially sustainable, getting sponsors to help support it, and then I can spend more time on it, because there's a direct correlation between the amount of time I have and how much I can spend. And those are the two things that really I'll be focusing on, is how to make it financially sustainable, but also where to go from a content perspective. The local governments are really doing a lot of innovative things, and the great thing about local government is there's less politics, there's more of a financial crunch going on in some places, and there's really a willingness to adopt these technologies and execute them quicker, because there's not a lot of red tape or bureaucracy associated with it. I mean, there's still a lot of it, but there's not as much at the federal level. So it's really interesting to watch these local governments become innovative, and really opening up information and data and redoing websites. The time frame from concept to execution is so much shorter at the local level. So really, highlighting what, from GovFresh's perspective, highlighting what local governments are doing is interesting because really allowing, having a platform for people to share their ideas. We had someone, the web manager for Reno.gov, talking about what they were doing, and she did a great post on it. And, things like that where local governments can look and see what other local governments are doing and saying, hey, they're in the same financial situation we are, and we should be executing, we could be executing like them, and this is how, right? So the federal government is very much a bigger beast, and it's easy for a local government to say, well, it's easy for them to execute that because they have more money, and highlighting what local governments are doing, which is not getting a lot of attention, really can serve as a point of reference for other local governments who aren't sure how to do this or where to start. So the local government is really, the local aspect of it is really interesting, especially from me coming from more of a startup background. Watching local governments be much more agile in executing is really fascinating.